Episode 36. Dara had a son called Sausan. When Iskander attacked Iran, Sausan went to India. He was working as a shepherd there. Some time later he passed away. Decades passed. His offspring was a young man who was also called Sausan IV. Sausan IV moved to the city of Ardesheer to work there as a shepherd. The governor of Ardesheer was a man named Babak. One night Babak saw a dream. He saw his shepherd is riding an elephant and other people are bowing for him. Babak asked astronomers to interpret his dream. They told Babak, this man or his child will be the king in the future. Babak asked Sausan about his past and his family. Sausan told Babak about his ancestor. Babak was happy of hearing this. He decided to make Sausan his son-in-law. Sausan and his wife had a son. They named him Ardesheer. When Ardesheer was a young man, he was a skilled hunter and warrior. That time, Ardavan was the king of Iran. Ardavan asked Babak to send his grandson to the capital. Ardesheer went to the king's palace. King Ardavan had 4 sons. One day Ardesheer had a quarrel with king's sons. The king got angry and sent Ardesheer to horse stall to work as a punishment. In the palace of the king, there was a beautiful girl named Gulnar. One day while Gulnar was watching the garden from the terrace, she saw Ardesheer and fell in love with him. That night she went to the stall and told Ardesheer that she loved him. Ardesheer loved her too. Some time later, Babak, the governor of Ardesheer, passed away and King Ardavan sent his oldest son, Bahman, to Ardesheer to be Babak's successor. This made Ardesheer annoyed. One day Ardesheer asked Gulnar to run away with him to the Pars. Gulnar accepted. One night they left the palace. The next morning when the king found about this, he was very angry. He sent his troops to look for Gulnar and Ardesheer. He wanted to kill Ardesheer but his troops could not find them. Ardesheer arrived to Ardesheer. Bahman sent his men to fight with Ardesheer. But Ardesheer was a wise man. He talked to Bahman's troops and asked them to accompany him because his goal was removing tyranny. Bahman's soldiers were persuaded and decided to accompany Ardesheer. The city of Jaram had a governor called Tabak. Tabak promised Ardesheer to help him in the battle. Bahman's army were ready for war with Ardesheer's troops. Finally Ardesheer could defeat Bahman with the help of Tabak. Bahman lost the battle and escaped to India. When King Ardavan heard of this, he was furious. Ardavan got ready and went to Ardesheer with his army. There was a severe battle between the two. This battle lasted for 40 days. A lot of soldiers died from both sides. Finally there was a huge storm and the storm weakened the power of Ardavan's army. Ardavan retreated but on the way back to his palace, he was killed. Ardesheer called himself the new king of Iran. He was a good king. People were happy and everything was under control. There was a city called Khojaran. People of this city worked in cotton fields. There was a man called Haftwad in Khojaran. He had 7 sons and 1 daughter. His daughter worked in the cotton fields too. One day when the girl was going to the cotton field, she found an apple. She bit the apple and she saw a worm inside the apple. The girl put the worm in her basket and went to the field. That day, she could collect cottons twice more than the days before. She believed that the worm had brought her luck. The other days she took the worm with her and the result was even better. Time passed and this family could get rich. Haftwad was getting richer and more powerful. The governor of Khojaran was jealous of Haftwad and decided to arrest him but he was not successful and instead he lost his position and Haftwad declared himself the governor of Khojaran. Haftwad could seize more cities and bring them under his control. The worm was getting bigger and bigger and Haftwad decided to build a big pool for the worm. The news of Haftwad's power reached to King Ardesheer. Ardesheer decided to attack Khojaran and defeat Haftwad. But his soldiers were defeated and Ardesheer decided to retreat. Ardesheer and his men were roasting a sheep to eat on their way. Suddenly an arrow was thrown and touched the roasted sheep. There was a paper attached to the arrow. They read the message. It said, "We could kill King Ardesheer easily. But we did not. We warn you to leave our land. You cannot defeat the worm." Ardesheer and his army left Kojaran and went to Jaram because they had heard of a riot in Jaram. They could suppress the riot. Then King Ardesheer did some research to know about the worm story. A wise man told King Ardesheer, "If you want to defeat Haftwad, you have to kill the worm." King Ardesheer and his men decided to go to Kojaran as merchants. They had a lot of gifts with them. When they arrived the city, they gave the guards some wine as a gift and the drunk guards let them in. King Ardesheer told them, "I have some gifts for the worm." The men let the king go to the pool. King Ardesheer added some poison to rice and gave it to the worm. When the giant worm ate the rice, it died. Then Ardesheer's men attacked the guards and soldiers. Ardesheer's men could finally defeat Haftwad. Haftwad and his sons were all arrested and executed. And the country was again under king's control. The king made a fire temple in that area and then went back to his palace. End of episode 36. Thank you for watching.